They thought the internet would keep them safe. But now, members of Bluesky's notorious hate brigades are losing their jobs, being exposed, and facing real-world consequences. Imagine celebrating someone's death online, only to have HR call you the next morning and fire you on the spot. That's not cancel culture, it's accountability. And as Bluesky scrambles to hide its toxic underworld, the spotlight is only getting brighter. Stay with me, because what's happening next will shock you. Music. The notorious Bluesky hate brigades are now facing serious fallout, with many members losing their jobs and being pushed out of professional spaces. In response, Bluesky has begun disabling features that once made it easy to track the individuals who revel in tragedy. Today, we continue to shine a light on these toxic corners of the internet, alongside the mainstream media long shown signs of decay. Welcome back to the channel, friends. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Our mission is simple: to break down the world of entertainment, keeping you ahead of the curve in culture and media. Today, we're diving into topics spanning streaming platforms, social media, and the digital entertainment scene. Unfortunately, the news isn't exactly cheerful. Darkness still lingers online. The most depraved corners of the web are still active, but now the people behind them are starting to face real-world consequences, and they are far from pleased. Hit that like button, because you're about to see why human resources teams across America might need to hire more staff just to handle the flood of firings coming their way. Let's start with Grums. Grums, also known as Mark Kern, is a key figure in the gaming world. He recently noted that Bluesky has turned off guest search, a reference to Nick Carter's announcement that, as of yesterday, this feature is no longer functioning, despite it working just 2 days ago. They know we've caught them red-handed. Right now, Bluesky's search function is unavailable if you're logged out. It looks like the rules have changed, giving them the power to decide who can see what's happening on their platform. And what exactly is happening on Bluesky? Frankly, it's disturbing. The content there is grotesque and alarming. Want a glimpse? Brace yourself. Matt Walsh notes, based on the screenshots people keep sending me, it seems Bluesky is a place where leftists just sit around discussing who they want to harm next. The imagery is shocking, and the discussions are chilling. Comments like these should raise serious concerns. Here's the reality. Statements calling for violence aren't just inappropriate, they could very well be criminal. Law enforcement needs to take notice. Platforms like Bluesky, Reddit, TikTok, and others where users promote harm or threats must be held accountable. Calls for violence shouldn't be met with leniency or warnings. They should result in real consequences. If someone is inciting violence, they should face legal action immediately, without delay. It's not a game. Justice needs to be enforced, and those responsible should be made to answer for their words and actions. There's no coming back from this. Once these individuals are identified, they shouldn't return to their jobs. HR departments across the country will be busy. We're talking about removing anyone promoting violence or calling for the harm of others. You simply can't employ extremists or people openly advocating for the end of someone else's life. Metatron recently commented, "I do not know who is worse, Hassan or Destiny," referring to popular streamers. Yes, we cover entertainment here, and that includes the online personalities shaping digital culture. Similarly, Piers Morgan warned, "Stop labeling everyone you disagree with as threats. The real world exists, and your words can lead people to pick up weapons." Destiny responded controversially, claiming that widespread violence is legitimized when the President of the United States repeatedly asserts the 2020 election was fraudulent. While political debate is one thing, statements that incite or justify actual violence are another, and they cross a serious line. There are videos circulating of these individuals saying truly abhorrent things. We won't show them here because we don't want to give that content more exposure. But one thing is clear, platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and others hosting these personalities have a responsibility. When users broadcast harmful rhetoric, there must be accountability, no exceptions. Any comments that promote or glorify violence need to be removed. This isn't about cancel culture, this is about accountability culture. People often ask, what's the difference? In accountability culture, if someone genuinely regrets breaking fundamental moral boundaries, like harming the innocent or taking pleasure in another's suffering, and they take steps to make amends, there's a path to redemption. You can learn, grow, and move forward. Cancel culture, on the other hand, offers no such path. Once someone is labeled, they are banished, no forgiveness, no redemption. That's a hallmark of extreme woke ideology, and it's not what we're advocating. Metatron rightly points out examples highlighted by Right Angle News Network. Leftists fired for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death have reportedly turned to online donation platforms like GoFundMe to solicit money. One such fundraiser has raised a whopping $20. Truly impressive. Let's all give a round of applause for that monumental sum. They've clearly found a new way to cope after losing their jobs, though one might argue it's hardly a sustainable solution. $20. That's all they've managed to raise. As if that makes up for losing a full-time job. One post reads, "Good evening. I'm one of the many women targeted by the far right for sharing my honest reaction to Kirk's death. A couple of days after posting on Twitter, HR called me into an immediate meeting. They asked about my comments, and right after I explained myself, I was fired on the spot. Now I'm unemployed." And my response? Good. If you celebrate someone's violent death, especially in front of their family, you've shown you don't deserve a place in civil society. Maybe there's work scrubbing restrooms on the night shift at Walmart, and frankly, I'd respect the people doing that job far more than I respect you. But as for positions of authority, influence, or prestige, absolutely not. Those doors are closed. This is accountability culture in action. Actions have consequences. And here's a truth worth repeating: not even venomous snakes revel in the suffering of their prey. If a human being does, that isn't just immoral, it's depraved. Robbie Starbuck recently weighed in, and his words hit hard. Imagine, just for a moment, if HR departments across the country finally cleaned house, removing the extremists and ghoulish individuals who openly celebrate tragedy. It would be a purge of toxic behavior from workplaces everywhere. Those who find joy in violence? Goodbye. Take your severance if you get one, apply for welfare if you must, but your time in respectable employment is over. And it can't just stop at the workplace. Federal authorities need to take a hard look at platforms like Reddit, TikTok, and beyond. Free speech is a right, yes, but when speech crosses into threats or incitement, it's no longer just words. At that point, it's time for consequences. People who call for violence should be taken into custody. Starbuck highlighted a shocking example. The production manager for Def News 12 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, allegedly praised the aim of Charlie Kirk's killer in a Facebook post. Even more disturbing, Def management has yet to fire him. This shows the rot isn't confined to big tech platforms like Reddit, TikTok, or Twitch. It's embedded in local media outlets as well. Chattanooga, Tennessee, has become a case study of just how deep this cultural sickness runs. Chattanooga might seem like just a small city, but what's happening there shows how widespread this issue really is. Take WDEF News 12, for example. At the same time the station is covering community vigils honoring Charlie Kirk's life, troubling reports are surfacing about one of their own employees. Online, people are calling out WDEF's leadership. One commenter wrote, "Dan Howard, your silence condones the vile behavior of your employee, Chris Hull. Do the right thing. Fire Chris Hull." The pressure is mounting, and questions are swirling about why someone allegedly making such extreme remarks is still on staff. Now, I need to be careful here. What I'm sharing comes from Robbie Starbuck, who posted these claims publicly. According to him, this Def employee made deeply violent comments. If true, it's shocking, especially coming from someone working in local news. For now, we can only go on what's been reported, but the implications are serious. Now, all kinds of people are weighing in. Let me be clear, I can only report on what I see and what Robbie Starbuck has shared publicly. I can't vouch for every detail, especially in the Chris Hull situation, but here's what I do know. Whenever someone openly celebrates suffering or dehumanizes others, they need to be called out, loudly and without hesitation. These aren't minor slip-ups, they are anti-life, anti-human statements. And the days of sweeping this behavior under the rug are over. HR departments across America need to get their paperwork ready. In fact, they might want to order some new printers, because there are going to be plenty of termination letters to process. As for Bluesky, whatever changes you're making to your platform, whether it's restricting search functions or rewriting the rules, it won't hide the truth. People are waking up to the reality of what woke has become, and they're not going to ignore it anymore. Bluesky has become a hive, and the spotlight is only getting brighter. This is the dark heart of villainous wokeism, an ideology that doesn't honor truth, but worships raw power. Its adherents believe the moment has come for their narcissism to dominate. But they are wrong. The media, of course, is already trying to twist the story. They want you to believe that the person responsible for Charlie's death was some kind of far-right figure. Nobody's buying that anymore. The legacy press has spent years burning through its credibility. You've been TMZ'd, so to speak, reduced to spectacle and spin. The lies have gone on too long, and now moral accountability, not physical retaliation, but moral reckoning, has finally arrived.
Take Newsweek as an example. I'll end with them.
They are working overtime to shape this narrative, even as more and more people are being exposed on platforms like Bluesky, Reddit, and TikTok. And make no mistake, exposure means consequences. HR departments across America are going to have no choice but to act. Because here's the hard truth. If someone will gleefully celebrate the death of another human being, they'll celebrate yours. They'll cheer at your child's suffering. These individuals have no moral compass, no boundaries, no humanity.
All they crave is power.
So when Newsweek tries to frame this story, remember the reality. People saw a brutal, undeserved killing, a man taken in front of his 3-year-old child, and instead of grieving, they rushed to their phones to revel in it.
That's not just callous. That's ghoulish.
Newsweek's headline reads, "Professors face losing jobs over Charlie Kirk posts."
Oh no, really? So now the claim is that simply posting about Charlie Kirk will get you fired? What a bizarre and misleading angle.
The article is by Kate Palmer, labeled an investigative reporter.
But let's unpack what she actually wrote.
Palmer claims, individuals who have posted social media content about Charlie Kirk risk losing their jobs. That framing makes it sound like anyone who shares thoughts on his death is suddenly unemployable.
But that's not the truth.
Here's the reality. People aren't being fired for offering sympathy or for acknowledging a national tragedy. They are losing their jobs because they celebrated an assassination. That's the distinction. These aren't just casual posts, they are grotesque celebrations of violence.
And that raises serious concerns.
Would you feel safe boarding a plane knowing the pilot once mocked or glorified a public figure's murder? Would you trust a teacher with your children if they took joy in such a loss?
Of course not.
Because this isn't about free speech or differing opinions. It's about morality, accountability, and whether someone who revels in tragedy can be trusted with responsibility. Those cheering on death and destruction are behaving like ghoulish caricatures of humanity, and the consequences they are facing are entirely deserved. Let me be clear, I care that Charlie Kirk was a good man, even if some disagreed with his views. But here's what I absolutely will not accept. The idea of boarding a plane flown by a pilot who belongs to a death cult, someone who celebrates the end of another human being.
No thank you.
If that means a few fewer flights across North America, so be it. I'd rather be safe than trust my life to someone who glorifies violence. HR department, do your job, send them home.
The same goes for teachers.
Do you really want your child walking into a classroom led by someone who cheers when others are killed? That's not education, that's indoctrination. And professors? If you think celebrating suffering is acceptable, then it's time for you to step aside, too.
Go find another line of work.
Learn to code, as the saying goes, because you've shown you can't be trusted to shape young minds. This isn't cruelty, it's accountability.
Actions have consequences.
If you take joy in the suffering of innocence, your time in positions of trust and influence is over.
That's what real comeuppance looks like.
And let's be honest, Newsweek running a headline that tries to blur this reality is disgraceful.
Kate Palmer, that framing is appalling. Newsweek publishing it, equally vile.
It's tabloid-level spin, and people are done with it.
Now, I'm not calling for revenge. I'm not calling for cruelty.
But I am saying that society has a responsibility. When individuals openly demonstrate that they revel in the idea of physical harm to others, we can't ignore it.
We must act. That's it. The prestige is gone.
These narcissists crave status, power, and recognition. But if they trample on the most basic tenets of humanity, they forfeit the right to any of it.
And far too many have crossed that line. As for Bluesky,
if leadership there has been complicit in this toxic culture, then yes, I hope investigators step in. If those in charge have enabled or participated in this sickness, then legal consequences should follow. Prison time wouldn't be too harsh, because the stakes are nothing less than the future of a civil society. And that's what I want, a healthy, moral society where people care for one another instead of turning a blind eye. I don't want any more moments like the subway tragedy, where a young woman was mistreated while bystanders looked away. Enough is enough.
We're all tired of it. You're tired of it. I'm tired of it.
That's why accountability culture matters. Let me say it one more time. Accountability culture isn't about endless condemnation. It allows for redemption, but it also sets the guardrails. If you engage in vile, destructive behavior, you don't get to wield power over decent people.
Period.
And with that, we'll wrap up this Sunday's video. Thank you so much for spending time with us. It truly means a lot. Stay strong, stay sharp, and we'll see you again very soon. Don't forget, our Renegade show goes live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, if you're catching this video right as it comes out. That's going to be an important stream where we dive deeper, give you fresh insights, and continue this ongoing conversation in real time. We'll be unpacking not only the big stories that have everyone's attention right now, but also looking at how these events connect to our daily lives and the culture we're all navigating together. If you've never joined one of our live sessions before, tonight would be a perfect time. You'll get the chance to engage, to share your thoughts, and to be part of a community that values discussion and dialogue. Now, beyond tonight's live broadcast, there's much more content on the way. Over the next several days, we'll continue producing videos and updates that keep you informed and, hopefully, inspired. Some of those videos will deal directly with the aftermath of the recent national tragedy. We know that this event has shaken many people deeply, and it's important to give it the care, seriousness, and thoughtful attention it deserves. We want to respect the gravity of the situation while also bringing clarity to the conversations happening around it. At the same time, we're still committed to the other side of what we do here, the lighter, more entertaining side. That means we'll keep exploring topics like theme parks, tourism, travel, and all those experiences that bring joy and excitement into people's lives. For many of you, this mix of heavy commentary and lighter cultural exploration is exactly why you tune in. It's not easy balancing the weight of tragedy with the fun of entertainment, but we believe both sides matter. Life isn't just one thing or the other. It's serious and joyful, difficult and exciting, painful and hopeful, all at once. So, as we move forward, we're asking for a bit of patience and understanding. Some days our videos may lean heavier on commentary about current events. Other days, you'll see us switch gears and dive into travel tips, theme park updates, or discussions about culture and entertainment.
Both approaches are part of what defines this channel. Both are part of who we are.
And our promise to you is that, no matter the subject, we'll always aim to be honest, thoughtful, and engaging in how we present it. If you want to support us in that mission, there are some simple but powerful ways you can help. Please like this video if you found it meaningful. Share it with others who you think might appreciate the conversation. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribing not only helps our community grow but also ensures that you stay connected to the content we're putting out. Make sure you also hit that notification bell. The way platforms work these days, it's easy for videos to get lost in the shuffle, even for subscribers. By turning on notifications, you'll always know the moment a new video goes live. Whether it's breaking coverage, a deep dive discussion, or something lighter to lift your spirits, you'll be the first to see it. And perhaps most importantly, we want to hear from you.
Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Tell us how these events are impacting you, what perspectives you've noticed, or even just your take on the topics we're covering. This channel isn't just about us talking, it's about building a community where your voice matters, too. The comments section is where those conversations can begin, and we truly value the insights you bring. So, until next time, let me close with gratitude. Thank you for the honor, the privilege, and the genuine pleasure of spending this time with you. Every time we share a video or host a live stream, it's more than just content. It's a chance to connect, to learn, and to grow together.
Remember this, keep learning.
Stay curious, ask questions, and don't be afraid to challenge ideas.
Keep growing.
No matter where you are in life, there's always another step forward you can take, another lesson you can embrace, another way to become stronger. And above all, keep finding joy in the journey. Even in the midst of difficult moments, there is beauty to be found and reasons to stay hopeful. We'll see you very soon, and we look forward to sharing more with you in the days ahead.